Hello, ladies of the night. How are you guys all doing? Oh my gosh, this season that we're in, just coming off of Halloween and now Mercury retrograde that is in Scorpio, and we just had a pretty intense alignment yesterday, which was Mars, which is the ruler of Scorpio as well. Actually, Pluto is the co-ruler, rather, of Scorpio as well. So those two planets actually had what I call like a square down yesterday. So there might have been, just intensities, maybe some things brought to light. You might have felt like a lot of aggressive energy, or and on the other side, like if you worked that transit right, I mean, it's like fucking like napalm. Like it could have been like incredible, like sexual energy, liberating energy, something where you really shifted and changed at a very core deep level, right? And so that opportunity is still there now, right? Like if you're feeling it, if you're feeling like, man, like I'm wrestling, I'm writhing with something, or I'm getting this like impetus, like this, I need to do something, right? Like, yes, you are in it. So what I wanted to really get on here and speak about first, though, is the Mercury retrograde. So for those of you who are new to my trainings or astrology or energy, just give you a lot of people, talk about Mercury retrogrades, and, and so we get this general, oh, it's when electronics don't go right, or, you need to back up everything, check everything twice, because it's just like when stuff goes haywire, right? And yes, that these are things that can happen, but it's not the whole story, right? Like I actually feel like that's a huge disservice to people for us to not really understand what a retrograde is, specifically Mercury, because they happen 3 times a year, right? Like this is always happening. So this is the third one that we're having this year. It's been in all of the water this year. So we had one in Pisces earlier, and then one in Cancer during the summer, and now we're having the last one in Scorpio, right? And so what a retrograde is, specifically as it pertains to Mercury, right, is it is a time where things are going against the grain. It's an actual shift in the normal status quo of, and in specifically that area of life. So, I mean, if you know your chart, you want to look to where Scorpio is in your chart for more information. If you guys don't know where Scorpio is in your chart, just comment down below. I'd be happy to for you and let you know. So it is a shift in what normally happens in that area of life. And the number 3 is very significant when we're dealing with Mercury, because Mercury is the divine alchemist within all of us. It is the bridge. It's the throat chakra, okay? And so it's about, what are we bridging, though, right? We're bridging the above, that which is, thought, with the mind, yang energy, pure light energy, right? And the bridge is bridging the body, bridging the heart, everything that is below, okay? So mixing the above with the below. And so specifically what happens during these retrogrades is that Mercury is dipping down. What's happening in the sky. Like you cannot see Mercury now when you go out into the sky, and that's because he's below the horizon. He's actually diving deep into, in this case, in Scorpio waters, right? And so it's really asking us to dig deep, right? Like really, without any shame, without any guilt, what do you fucking want? Not what your mom told you should have wanted, not what your friends are doing, not what the world is doing, not what you think you have to do because you took this program and somebody said this is how you have to do it. No, how do you like it? Like, and I mean like from a very like fuck level, and I'm saying that just so you get it, right? It's like, what is down? What really turns you on? Like, how do you like it? You know, like, what is it that you really want that maybe you're too scared to actually like put on the table and put out there and say, no, this is actually how I want to do it. This is, you know, what I like. You know, and this, you know, because it's Scorpio, right? It's something that's in the underworld. It's in the underbelly, right? It's something that it might be very taboo, you know? So absolutely themes around sexuality, themes around power. There's this great Oscar Wilde quote where he's like, you know, everything in the world is about sex. It's true. Everything is about sex except sex. Sex is about power, right? And he, even though, yes, that is true, but sex, you know, of course, is also about a heart connection. Like, you can have sex, right? And quote unquote, like, sport fuck, meaning, you know, like you're going through the motions and your body is getting off. And I'm going to share this with you guys for a long, long time. You know, I've always loved sex. Sex has always been just a big part of my life. It's funny because I have tons of planets in Scorpio, and even though I have a Libra sun, I was always like, I think I was like Scorpio somehow, and then I ended up finding more about the chart, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. Anyhow, like, you know, so for a long time, you know, like, sex was awesome and sex was amazing, right? But was it love making, right? Like, and then I realized, like, oh my God, like this hasn't been lovemaking. This was about, you know, getting off, right? And what does that mean, get off? It's kind of like when you're rushing and you just want to like you know, like you just want to have that explosion, right? But making love, right, is when you're putting your heart into something. Like, there's more feelings that are generated. There's more passion. Like, you're really feeling like, and you're getting to receive deeply, you know, from the experience around you, right? Like, there's no need to rush or push or force. In fact, you don't even need to do anything when you get to this place of lovemaking where you can be totally still and receiving incredible bliss and ecstasy. It's like yesterday during this alignment, I was making love, and I don't know if you guys have experienced this or not, but it's totally possible. And if you guys have questions about that, and if you guys are doing one-on-one work with me, for sure we can speak more about it. But like, for my hands, like literally coming through my hands and my face, like orgasming, right? And so for me, that was energy that was, you know, sexual energy, right? Like, when it's just about getting off, when it's just about, and this is for your life too, right? Remember, everything is about sexual energy except sex. Sex is about power. But no, like, so when what you're doing is just about like the lower level stuff, right? Which, meaning just like base securities. Like, a base security is to just, like, we have a need to have sex, like that's an actual physical need. Or if it's just about food, or if it's just about surviving, it's just about having the money, right? It's like you're operating from fear, right? You miss out on all expansion that happens in all of these other chakras, right? But you got to get the bottom one first, right? Like, if you don't get the bottom one, like, then you're not actually really being here, right? And you're not actually being of service to this planet, right? And so that's what I'm feeling, is like, that's what I've been getting with this Mercury retrograde, is you have to, like, you know, really get down deep into what serves you, what feeds you, what nourishes you on a very primal level. Like, really be honest, like primal, you know, like if nobody was looking and I could just say this in the very, like, the very back of the halls of my mind, what do I really want? What? And I'm whispering, because it kind of has like that feeling, the heart, you know, like the stirrings of the heart, what the heart really wants. It's not like a big, like, I want this, I want this, I want this, like you're crying like a little baby. Like, no, that's, you know, like, that's not the heart. The heart doesn't speak to us that way, right? Because the heart already has it. You already have it. You already are your deepest burning desire, right? But light to it, you shine a light onto the darkness, then you get to see that within you and then claim it, right? So one thing that, it can be like this interesting place where we're not even able to really admit, not to ourselves or to others, what we really, really want. Because, you got to get into this place of just making your desires, this not a big deal, right? Like, it's not a big deal to be doing this, because when it's not a big deal, it's when you're actually doing it and it's your life, right? So it's this kind of energy of getting into that place of, it's not really a big deal to be having like mind-blowing, amazing orgasmic sex. Like, actually, that's what I have all the time, right? And there's only more, and there's only more, there's only more, and it's true, right? And so, or whatever it is that you want, what is, if you already had it, like, imagine like already having it, just so you normalize your desire, right? And so this is what happens with these Mercury retrogrades, is sometimes we run these kind of like snafus, or like these missing people, actually that's a thing, people coming back from our past that we haven't seen in a long time, that are giving us information about something that we've missed, or in relationship to who we are now, we can see how we've changed, right? Like how our values are different. Values is a really big thing, right? With Mercury retrograde. Essentially that's what is happening. It's shape-shifting. You are alchemizing and changing. And the way that we shift and shape-shift is by changing our borders and boundaries, by saying, no, I don't want that, or yes, I do want that, but from not from a mental place, not that's what I think I should have, not that that's what I want, not what, but like what do I really want? Like, actually, you want that. So I'm going to take that in and then set a boundary so that, anything that is not that doesn't get to come inside, And so, and this is how we develop truth, right? When you're really honest with yourself, right? Like, there's a line that's drawn in the sand that says, this is me, right? And I get to hold all of this light and love inside of this vessel, right? But if you're lying to yourself, you're contorting yourself, or you're tight in certain, right? The light doesn't get to be in there. The love doesn't get to be in there. So we have to make space, bring the breath in, bring it all the way down into our sacrum, bring it all the way down into our root, and really ask, like, what is here? What is blocking me from being that? What is blocking me from feeling that, right? And so I'm going to do this specifically with you in all of the modules, but start getting your mind into that place. Like, you can start now, right? Like, start now by having those deeper thoughts. Like, take the time of, like, actually, you know what? My heart isn't really in this. Like, why isn't my heart in this? Why isn't my heart? Why? Like, what's there? What do I think? What do I believe about what is possible for me in my life that is keeping me from already having it now, right? And so with Mercury retrogrades, what will happen is you might get taken down what's called a rabbit hole, which is where, like, something doesn't click in, like, right away. So then you kind of have to go, like, and change your plan a little bit. Like, it's kind of like a side rail, like, side rail, oop, we're going to go this way. And the reason why you're doing that is because you're missing something. But if you keep going full blast forward without really paying attention to the signs and symbols that are literally dropping in front of you, you miss the gold. You miss the treasures that you wouldn't get if you didn't allow yourself to go down, right? And really touch what's down there. So, and this will happen in kind of like a 3-part thing where we revisit things sometimes 3 times, because that's what Mercury's doing in the sky. Is it retraces a path, and so it goes this way and then goes back, and then we'll go back again the 3rd time. So that's why there's this 3 thing that will happen. So you might notice that, like, man, like, I had to do this 3 times in order to, like, get it right? Or I had to, talk to this person, 3 different scenarios, or That's why people say it's like revising and revisiting and revamping and rewriting and, you know, all of the re-cleansing. It definitely is especially in Scorpio, this is a time to cleanse out. Like you're clearing out your garbage, you know, that's in your psyche, because it's Scorpio. Psychological baggage. It's also baggage because it's Scorpio that's sexual, meaning, you know, it's all the taboo areas of life. Like things, you don't just come out and start talking to people about your sex life. You don't talk to people about your taxes. You don't talk to people about your divorce or what's going on, you know, with your marriage and investments and inheritances, like, you know, all of those sort of things. This is actually what is coming up now, is it's like revisiting, like, you know, like what is going on with your shared resources. Like if you're married to somebody, and like how do you guys feel about sharing resources, like actually, you know, letting go of your total control of the money, or letting go of your power, right? Like this happens a lot in sex, right? That's why we were saying that sex is a lot about power. Like if you were to totally let go and be vulnerable, what would happen? Like how safe would you feel? How much ecstasy could you let in? How much freedom could you allow yourself if you would release the control, right? Release what you're scared of losing. Like if you're scared of losing money, you know, like, and you just let go of that, right? Because nothing can really ever be taken from us. We are a soul in a body, right? We're having a human experience, but our soul will always live on, like always, always, always. Is this even going? I think it is. I'm just going to keep rolling. So nothing can really be taken from you. And when you can get into that place of just that type of security, you're free to have everything, you know? So where is the control? What's the control around, right? And so, you know, bring to the mix the remedy, you know, is always the opposite sign. So the opposite sign of Scorpio is Taurus, which is where our full moon is happening, and this is actually when blush starts. So something is going to be coming to a massive, like, flowering, right? And Taurus is the sign of I have, right? It's about being so solid in your values, being so solid in your sense of self-worth, right? Like you're rooted, like I'm rooted, like nothing could happen to me because I have the whole earth, right? I have me, right? Like, and that can never be taken away from me. So how are you guys feeling about this? I don't think any of you guys are on now, but just, you know, you can put some comments in the chat below and I'll come back in and read them. All right. Love you.